Hello, my name is Thomas Ahrens, and here I show you how to write a drum chart which you can sight read easily. With this kind of chart you are able to deliver a fairly sufficient performance even on your first run and even if the concerned song is new to you, provided that you are a professional drummer well trained on sight reading. If you want to know more about me, please visit my website t-arens.de. As an example, I choose this drum chart from the song Heavy Dirty Soul from the band 21 Pilots. I bought it from drummystery.com. It's an electronic part, but it sounds very much like live drums, and it is not too difficult to drum. I transferred the first page of this chart into my music notation program, which is Finale 26. You can see it here. It's a very precise chart with a negligible amount of errors, which I've corrected without mentioning. Here I rather show you some systematic notational changes. These changes improve the readability and practical use of this chart. And here we go. Step 1. Step 1 is the most dramatic change of all. Right in the beginning, I omit the staves. Most drum set players seeing this are upset. Their immediate reaction is, "This is bullshit." But wait a minute. Before you stop this video here, let me finish. On page 1 of this song we have 10 accolades with 50 note lines all together. This is a lot of black ink for almost no information. If you omit it, the important information stands out more visible. Now I hear always the following argument: without staves I cannot tell which tom to drum. Here is my answer to this. You can for sure distinguish 3 different levels of tom notes without lines if you give the tom notes a different look, as you can see here in this example. Furthermore, you don't need to distinguish more than 3 levels of tom notes, even if you use more toms, because it usually doesn't matter if you hit a specific tom on a certain beat or the tom next to it. There's a lot more to say to this item, but for now let's go on. You namely have to make some adjustments after omitting the staves in order to shape the notes picture harmonious and appealing. First, lengthen the bar lines. Second, place the stems in the middle of the note heads, not at the right or left side. This is how people used to write down music notes for more than 500 years, until the printing was invented in the 16th century. Step 2. Economical use of ghost notes. Before you write a ghost note, you should ask yourself, am I 100% sure the drummer plays this note? And am I 100% sure this is a ghost note and not a real note? As I listened closely to the song, I deleted a lot of the ghost notes and I changed some of the ghost notes into real notes. My guideline is simplicity. For the sake of simplicity, I pass over some subtle variations in the drum pattern. Those subtle variations will change anyway on every live performance of the drummer. Step 3. References to the structure of the composition. Here I place some compositional hints and I point them up with thick bar lines. This helps the drummer to approach the song with the right feeling and to connect to the singer and the rest of the band. They are even more important if the song is relatively new to the drummer. Intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus A and chorus B. Step 4. 1 or 2 bar repeat signs. This reduces the number of signs on the page drastically. It clarifies and simplifies. Less signs to read means easier to read. The drummer saves energy, which he can now use to concentrate on the groove. The benefit of this measure justifies the neglect of minor variations. Please note that I shortened the bar lines in the middle of the 2 bar repeat signs. On bar 31 and 32, the crash hit on beat 1 is naturally substituted by a single hi-hat beat. My use of repeat signs simply ignores this alteration because it is so common and self-evident. Step 5. Minor corrections. On bar 1 to 5, the song has a single evolving sound with no rhythmic structure. Therefore, you can't count the beats to find your starting point. If you practice with a playback, don't try to catch this point. Instead, start a little bit later. If you play this song with a band, count in your fellow musicians. I substituted these 5 bars with 1 bar and a fermata. Now the bar numbers change. On the first bar of the verse is a doubled quarter note rest. I deleted one of these for the sake of simplicity. In the pre-chorus, this chart is already correct in this respect. Step 6. Adjustment of the accolades. Due to the use of 1 and 2 bar repeat signs, I can place a lot more bars into one accolade. So I need less accolades. Now I can increase the distance between the accolades. I prefer a page with 8 accolades. Nevertheless, I am able now to show more bars on page 1. Next, I place a dal segno al coda with repeat sign. Because in this song the drum part beginning with the second bar of the second verse is the same as in the first verse, and this goes on until the last bar of the second chorus B. Learn how to read a dal segno and coda sign. This is essential. The dal segno and the coda signs are so important to read that I enlarged them, so I can write even more bars on page 1 than the original chart has shown in the first 2 pages. Plus, the drummer is not constantly worrying that there could be something new in the next bar because he is playing a big part of the song for the second time. This once again releases energy he can use to concentrate on the music. Step 7. Specific note heads. Crash notes and tom notes are standing out unless they are an integral part of a constant repeated rhythm, so they have to catch the eye. I prefer encircled X heads for the crashes, no matter which value they have, half note, quarter note, or even 8 note. I merely add a dot for dotted notes. For single crash notes, I add an extra large accent mark. For tom notes, I prefer a circle with a dot in the middle, 2 different levels above the snare for high and mid toms, and 1 below the snare for the stand tom. Step 8. Bar numbers. Although I know that it is standard to show bar numbers at the beginning of every line, I prefer a different, more traditional numbering. I omit the bar numbers at the beginning of each line and instead I use hints to parts of the composition for orientation. You can see it here since step 3. In addition, I use rehearsal letters and I add bar numbers in the middle of each bar on multiple 1 bar repeat signs and in the middle of every 2 bars in multiple 2 bar repeat signs. I use all bar numbers in relation to the current part of the song. Step 9. Time signature and counting value changes. Sometimes it is practical to use those changes in order to clarify the rhythmic structure of the song. Don't be afraid of this. Here the bridge has a special rhythm. I found out that this part has a rhythm of 9 beats divided in 5 and 4. Every beat has the value of a half note. In the original chart from drummystery.com, this part was written in a straight 4/4 measure, as you can see in the steps 5 to 8. This makes a mystery out of it because it is written against the musical structure. I changed it into a system which reflects here the rhythm of the song, and lo and behold, it's easy to drum. I don't use a 9/2 signature because here this is not practical. Instead, I changed the counting value and I used alternating time signatures of 5/4 and 4/4. I enlarged the sign for the counting value change because it is so important. In the last picture you can see the complete first bridge. It appears again at the end of the song, above the original version from drummystery.com and below my version. I hope you get inspired by this video and I welcome every comment on this.